Hi guys, it's Sunday morning and I wanted to come on and change a baby, but wanted to start with sharing this little girl. I think I did her box opening on my channel initially. Oh, this is inside out. This is Ella, and Ella is the reborn Evelyn asleep from Bountiful Baby. And this reborn belongs to my daughter. I gave her to her, well, it's been over a year now. Coming around close to 2 years that we started this whole mess and beauty. So she's got 2 reborns. This sculpt is very realistic. She's got, I think her hair is beautiful, this beautiful curly hair, which my stepdaughter has very curly locks too, so it's kind of cute. And this is a handmade outfit that she came home with from the artist who painted her, which was one of the artists over at I think it was Mima's nursery. So this is Ella, you guys, and she had some shoes on her, but one had fallen off, and I didn't know where it was, and I didn't really look very hard. But very adorable sculpt. This baby has been out on outings and fooled people, even when she had her once in a little Target hand basket. She fooled people. She had someone kind of worried, like, is that a real baby in there? Yeah, so she's gorgeous. She could probably use a repaint. You know, if she decided to go that route, I would help her get that coordinated, but very precious little girl. And we reweighted her. She was very stuffed, and so finally she finally allowed me to reweight her, take some of the stuffing out, make her a little heavier, make her head a little floppier, and it's made a big difference. So she's got 2 reborns. The other is a peanut sculpt by Priscilla Lopez, and his name is Henry. The 2 of them pretty much sleep most of the time in this bouncer chair. But she loves them. All right, so that's Ella. Just wanted to share her with you guys. I'm gonna bring Charli down for a change. Literally for a change, an outfit change. Okay, here's little Miss Charli. She's ready for a change. It's been decent temperature, but a little chilly because of rain here. I've been semi-MIA from YouTube and a little bit from Instagram. Instagram's a little easier to manage. It just requires a double tap, really, to acknowledge things, but commenting on YouTube has been a little scarce. I watch a lot of my videos while I'm getting ready for work in the morning, so my hands are full, and while I'm driving, obviously not doing a whole lot of commenting then. So, and my interaction with my babies has been just as scarce. But I can look at them all the time because of how they're displayed, so that's nice. Just appreciating her for a second, you guys. She's really cute. And so much of the cuteness with these babies is their movement. And with Bonnie Brown, the way the limbs fall fall together and fall naturally into poses is just part of her magic, part of her incredible skill as an artist. And I say that in case you're not terribly familiar with sculpts or with Charli. Charli is the Sally sculpt by Bonnie Brown, painted by Marina Matsko. So I actually didn't come on here to plan, just with the feeling of where I'm at, which is, of course, I've talked about before, a little unsure of my feelings about where things sit in like my social interaction, I guess, in the online reborn doll collecting community. It's probably the best way to put it. But if I had a question for you guys, it would be this. If you interact on other people's videos, and or if you are a channel content creator, if you make videos of your dolls and your reborn and your collecting journey, what why did you start? Like, what possessed you to start taking part in the social community part of things? That question just really kind of like popped up for me this morning as I was getting the babies ready to come on and make a video. It was sort of like, all right, if you're kind of unsure with the way things are going, you know, when I say you, I mean Renee. Why did you start in the first place? Like, and at that time, nobody was watching my channel. I didn't know anybody, so there really, if there was any kind of drama, like if I ever even stumbled across a video about drama, which I can't even remember much of that in the beginning, I didn't know who anybody was talking about. Most people didn't mention names, so it would just be a situation that didn't affect me because I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't see a whole lot of it, so I wasn't focusing on it because I was so focused on box openings and painting tutorials and changing videos and things like that. I was looking for that, and so that's what was on my radar. So that's like really most of what I was seeing. And the reason I started, well, the dolls are so freaking cute, and I couldn't get enough of looking at them. And then when I started making videos, I guess I would have to say the reason I started making videos was because I thought my dolls were so cute, I really wanted to share them. And that's like why I take 1,000 photos too all the time. It's like I'm trying to capture what I see to be like, look how cute. I mean, that's really what it is. So where does it get like touchy or iffy or hairy? Like, why do we say, I'm not sure if I want to do this, or I don't like the way it's going? Like, what is it that's happening that drives that? She looks so washed out in this camera right now, so hopefully the video turns out better. Well, part of it is, like, so to speak, drinking the Kool-Aid. And when I say that, I don't mean that in like a cultish way. But I feel like the life experiences that we go through, that we choose, the things that we like become a part of or buy into, requires a certain aspect or element of like giving your total buy-in and just kind of like going with it to be in it. For example, if you think about like the Biggest Loser reality TV show, they're taken to the ranch and they're put into a game, and everybody in it is completely focused on that game, and they shut off their connections to the outside world so that they can like fully be in this, to the point where they fall apart when people are voted off because it's like they're dying, right? So that's a little bit further than taking part in an online community, but they're all in the experience. And you know, I think when we put on a video and we go in and we get to know people's channel names and the issues at hand become they're really important in the context of the community. I guess we're kind of like, we're buying into the critical nature or the importance of and the reality, the like overarching reality of what goes on here, because we're in it. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I'm just observing, you know, I'm actually just kind of feeling my way through this as we go. But I think that that belonging or inclusion is a natural desire for a lot of people, I would say for most people, not in a negative way, and maybe not always in a conscious way. And then you know, your focus is entirely in it. For me especially, like it definitely goes stronger and stronger, or it has gone really strong to where all of my free time, you know, every video I watched was a reborn video. That was all I did. So then it can touch you more, and it seems so like world stopping when things go wrong, or it can. Two, you form actual personal connections and you invite people in, maybe off camera. You invite people in to your personal life, or at least into your personal feelings and opinions on things. So that happens. And then you really start to care. I think a little bit more about what people think, because now these people start to have value in your life and all of that. I'm kind of going in a direction that I don't know what to do with. Like I said, I'm winging this. I've been called deep and a psychologist and all of that before. I don't know if that's true, but I definitely seek to understand things from as many angles as possible in life and in social interactions, and that's definitely an interest of mine. So of course I'm going to evaluate this. I don't think anything new is going on here, to be honest. Since I've been involved, it's been, let's see, July, August of 2017 is when I started collecting and watching and getting involved. So not 2 years, but close. And I wouldn't say that I think anything new is going on here. I think the players change. I think the issues change. I think that people come in who maybe hadn't been involved or exposed to things before because the previous issues were with people in other corners of the community that they didn't know, and so it just wasn't in their consciousness. And I just watched a video yesterday from a collector who's involved in the beauty community, and apparently there's some huge drama going on there. So certainly not unique to this community. This just happens to be the one we're in. So I don't think that anything new is happening. I just think that I think it ebbs and it flows. One, I think the volume gets turned up and the intensity gets turned up, and then it calms down, and I think the players change. Other than that, I think since it's been a fairly populated community, this has likely been the case. And speaking for myself, you say, why don't you just turn it off, click off, unsubscribe? It's always a constant, and maybe people get there to where it's just natural, but for me it's a practice. For me it's a constant practice to not take things personally, to not feel the need to keep knowing what's going to happen, to not feel the need to stand up for some sort of like injustice, like all of that stuff, or to be able to speak to be able to speak my voice and opinion on something without it emotionally affecting me. And with that, not being emotionally affected by other people's opinions on my opinion, like that's a constant practice. And I think if that were a natural thing, or I were successful at it, or when I'm successful at that there's less of an issue with like being in the community. There's less of a crisis of conscience, or, do I want to be here kind of crisis, when it's not affecting my personal sense of self. That's maybe a little broad and oversimplified, but it's close enough. So then there can be like stress. There's the stress of like getting close to people and being really friends, and then having that like ebb and flow as other friendships develop, and not really like knowing how to navigate that. All of that stuff happens naturally. I mean, think back to high school. I mean, and not in a catty, immature way, but think back to high school when you were in a large social environment and you would have very close friendships, and then maybe those would shift, and they might start getting close with other people, and you only have time for a certain number of friends. It's just that itself is a natural thing. But when you're virtual and you're not like connected, it's easier to be, I think, paranoid about maybe what's happening, or if what's being said, or all that stuff, because everything is behind the scenes. This girl looks so different from every angle. So then the question goes like, okay, well, why, for those of us who feel like we're not really sure if we like the way things are going, or we're not really sure like why we're here, so then the question becomes, why do we stay? Why do we keep doing it? Not in not a rhetorical way. Truly, why? So then I seek to answer that question for myself, and this is the reason. Because it's fun for me to look at these dolls and be fooled by their realism. It's fun to look at other people's dolls. It's fun to connect with people that are also wowed by the realism. It's fun to have a hobby that takes me out of my, regular functions, and it's just something that I enjoy for the pure sake of enjoyment, because I find that that's a critical piece to life happiness. I truly believe that. It doesn't matter what it is, and it's been many different things for me outside of my life, and when I do it with full buy-in. I kind of immerse myself in it. This has really stuck. This doll hobby, these realistic dolls, this hobby has really stuck for me. Like I said, coming up on 2 years, and going strong now, shifting and evolving for sure, right? Like, the craze has died down. The need to, get a new doll. It's more doll specific, not totally gone, but not frenzied anymore. More, at least right now. Who knows? I'm sure some of you out there are going, just wait, it comes back. But I like to talk also, so this gives me a place to talk. And I've said for years, when I started my channel, before it was a doll channel, and before that, when I wrote a blog, I don't know if anybody's going to see this or hear this or read this, whatever the case may be, but I like to have a voice and put it out there. It helps get it out of my head and express it, whether or not it's received. And so none of that's changed. And unless I'm considering topics and dolls for the response or reaction of others, there's not that much stress about topics. Now that inevitably happens too. When you start thinking, you start like seeing views and what people like and what people don't like. I mean, that definitely can become an involuntary consideration too. And to me, that kind of sucks the joy out of it a little bit. Just like when I run and I measure my distance and my speed, and then I start comparing it to my previous ones, and am I improving? And then all of a sudden running isn't joyful anymore. So watching that definitely helps cut down on dissatisfaction, like making sure that I'm making a video because it's something that I want to make and not something that, is because someone else or a large population will love it. That helps too. So that's what, and I hear it all the time. A lot of people come back to it, coming back to the dolls, coming back to the joy of it, coming back to the cuteness of it, coming back to the connection of it. And that really, really is what it is, because when all the crazy and all the drama starts up and it tricks you by getting, like, pulling in that part of you that is like we're moths to the flame, sucked to it, invariably, or, well, it is, that's not true. Invariably is not true, because there are people who just never show up in those circles because they just actually don't get involved. Maybe they have a strong enough self or too busy of a life outside of it to become connected and get sucked in. I'm not sure, but that coming back to the dolls is a simplified way of saying it, of my 20 minutes of saying what I've said. It's really just remembering why it is that you started and seeing if that motivation is still there. And to me, if it wasn't there, like if I really wasn't that interested in the dolls anymore, if I wasn't, you know, like oohing and eyeing and oh my gosh, look at this about how cute I think the dolls are, then I wouldn't have a motivation to have a channel anymore. But that is still there. And so that was the reason. So that's where the joy is. And I guess that's the answer to the question of why I keep doing it. Yeah. I've been really, there's been very little awareness of drama going on outside of seeing other people's reactions to it. And I have opinions and I express those opinions, but it's stayed, there's like some space between me and my feelings on the matter, if that makes sense. So hopefully, you know, I don't know if that's like, it wasn't meant to be a helpful self-help or others help video, but maybe that will speak to somebody. It's speaking to me. Like I said, I'm just sort of talking through things, but look at this baby girl. I mean, to me, guys, I'm looking through the screen here. She looks like a real baby to me. I mean, is it just me? This hobby is crazy. This art is crazy. I just so freaking love these dolls. And I wanted to let you guys know something. It's somewhat of a reborn confession. I have help. My birthday's in June, so there's definitely some outside blessing going on. But I found my my dream sculpt, or dream sculpt of the year, old sculpt, and a custom spot for that doll to be made. And I pushed it out a few months just to you know, make the timing a little bit more desirable for me. But I will actually have one more box opening this year. And whether anyone from my collection is leaving remains to be seen. As of now, no. But that's my early announcement, late arrival birthday thing that's happening for me. That's it. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And there's a nice big fat long video from me to you. All right. Sending out much love to you guys. And I look forward to seeing and hearing from you all soon. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.